in terms of moves for the Bengals, they've had a bit of a quieter day in terms of volume, but they have tried to address edge rusher, at least so far in day one of free agency, signing
Boye Mafe.
Boye Mafe. Okay, I knew it was Mafe, but I didn't. I was just gonna say Boy, and I was like, it can't just be Boy. But Boye Mafe, 3-year, $60 million deal for the Bengals. I mean, they've needed pass rush help for years at this point. I mean, they drafted Shamar Stewart last year in the first round. He's had a bad start to his career. They botched the Trey Hendrickson thing this past year. He's now a free agent. He's not coming back. And so this is at least kind of their potential replacement or theoretical replacement for Trey Hendrickson. And so y'all's thoughts on this replacement? What are y'all's thoughts on Boye Mafe?
I can tell you Seattle's thoughts, and they did not think he was someone that they should prioritize in re-signing. In fact, he was the lowest if there was a totem pole for re-signees. He was productive to a degree, but he was not a double-digit sack guy. He had 7 or 6 sacks last year, one of the two. And
he had
for the money that he had 2 sacks last year.
6 the year before
even
that.
Worse. For the money that they were going to have to pay him, I don't think Seattle was very comfortable with doing that and felt like they could go someplace else. Cincinnati needs a ton of help defensively. That's no secret whatsoever.
Yes.
They were really bad last year. They were the worst rushing defense in the league with just 2,500 rushing yards allowed. That was 2,500 rushing yards, 5.2 yards per carry. They also had the least tackles for loss, 56, and the 7th least sacks with 35. So Mafe can immediately kind of become the piece for them. And I think that'll be combined with whoever they draft in that first round with that number 10 overall pick. I fully expect that to be defense as well, whether that's Ruben Bain or it's Caleb Downs or someone like that.
Sure.
So this is I think a good addition by them. I do think they overpaid for him. I think they could have. You said it was 3 years, $60 million.
Yes.
Yeah, they could have. I think they could have gotten some pieces that had showed more production in the past than Mafe, but I think it's pretty common practice for people to see those players play on a Super Bowl team and be part of that Super Bowl winning culture and want to sign them because they were on the Super Bowl winning team. That must mean they're good.
Yeah.
2, they also were part of that Super Bowl winning culture, and they can bring that to us. And that may be more so of the move for Cincinnati in bringing a guy who was part of the best defense or the second best defense in the league last year, adding him to the worst defense and hoping he can get more out of the pieces around him by the way he either leads by example or leads with his voice. That more so feels like what Mafe would be for them than being the guy who's going to be super productive, like the trade that another team in their division made for Max Crosby and the Ravens. So that's where I see this move
I think
benefiting them more.
It's a fair point, and realistically, $20 million a year isn't necessarily quite the price tag like an alpha, tier 1 pass rusher costs. They're typically more than that. But Boye Mafe was not some clear edge rusher 1 for Seattle. We talked a ton about how they did it by committee, and so that maybe is a bit of a concern of there's not necessarily a ton of a committee for him to do it with in Cincinnati, but maybe he raises the bar.
I was actually about to hit on that because I wonder if maybe that's their goal, right? Because you spent a first rounder last year on Shamar Stewart. I always get him and Shamar Turner mixed up. Shamar Stewart. You bring in Boye Mafe, then you spend a first round pick on another edge rusher. That's 2 guys of 2 guys of elite pedigree, right? 2 first round edge rushers, young guys. And then
they also have Miles Murphy, who was a first-round pick in 2023 as well.
Yeah, so another
group.
Another young guy. So now you have 3 young guys, 2023, 2024, 2023, 2025, 2026, first-round edge rushers. Boye Mafe, this is his second contract, right? So I'm not going to say he's young. He's not. But he was a part of a rotation, and he was productive in that part of the rotation. When he played 800 snaps as an edge rusher, he hit 9 sacks, so almost double digits, close only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades. I know, but all that to say, maybe that's what they're kind of trying to recreate because you feel. I think you have to. You don't feel good, but you think that all right. If we have 4 edge rushers, 3 of them former first rounders, and 1 of them who we like, we brought it in free agency. We like the winning culture, like JP was just talking about. We like that he won a Super Bowl. Well, now we think maybe not this year because Shamar Stewart is only going to be a second-year guy. Whoever you draft, I do think it's going to be edge rusher still. Will be a rookie. But next year, like maybe we're in the Seahawks position where, we're in the final year of, what was his name, JP, the 2023 first-rounder?
Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
Right, so maybe Miles Murphy is our Boye Mafe, right? We're in his final year. He's a productive piece. He rotates in, rotates out. And with those 4 guys, they're able to create an effective defensive line. Maybe that's what they're thinking, is that you can, you don't need a Trey Hendrickson or a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett or a TJ Watt, but you can have 4 guys who are really good. And maybe even the first round of this year turns out to be elite. And that's enough.
That's just so many hoops to jump through, though, and it's giving a lot of credit to a front office that has not done a lot of good.
But your other option is
over
to give up
years.
2 first-round picks for Max Crosby when you have a lot of other holes you need to fill.
I don't necessarily hate the move, but also I'm not optimistic about this being a move that really sparks some great turnaround for a kind of a team that's been drifting a bit as of the past couple seasons and are wasting an elite talent at quarterback at that. So I don't know. I'm pretty jaded on the Bengals as a whole, and will probably continue to be so until they prove me wrong.
I personally think the Jessica Alba, Joe Burrow is a bigger story than this. In my opinion, I don't think Mafe moves the needle.
Sure.
I appreciate Sanders though going those lengths to try and create some kind of potential explanation. Yeah, some optimism
Sanders
for the
has always
team.
been the bit of the Bengals optimist on this show. I mean, he
Yeah.
had him making the playoffs.
I had him winning 13 games
Yeah,
last
had him
season.
winning a lot of games last season.
Which I'll stand by if Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt. Maybe that
Um,
happens. You don't know.
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe.